Okay, so again, my name is Meg, and welcome to, this is the Path to Your Future workshop series. We have several other Path to Your Future workshops this semester and next semester, so I hope you continue coming to other options too. So as a reminder, I am a liaison in the Career Development Center, part of the Career Development Center team, and we do a variety of activities, including workshops, but some other things that we're working on. Tuesday Talent Launch, we had our first one of the semester yesterday. This is where employers are coming to campus and they want to hire you. So it's an excellent chance to practice those skills we're going to work on today about telling your story. Any type of networking event, career fair. We have an internship initiative coming up and a virtual career fair. We have in-person and virtual events this semester and next semester. So I hope you keep coming back for more. So if I could have you go around and answer this one little question. You could introduce yourself. I'm going to call you out one by one. You could unmute and I'm going to say, Caitlin, what's your major?
Mechanical engineering.
Okay. Nain, what's your major? Okay. Bianca, I think.
Yeah, that's it. My major is accounting.
Accounting. Gaspar?
My major is business administration.
Business. Heather?
Mine is accounting as well.
Nicole?
Business management.
Business management. Sula, what was your major?
My major?
Mm-hmm.
I was in education.
Education. And Susan, what was your major?
My undergrad was general studies.
General studies. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. So that didn't take too long because I asked you a one-word question. You gave me a one-word answer. So I want to tell you a story. This is my brother, coolest guy I know, Ben Williams, or Gately Williams, he goes by. When he was a freshman at Ball State in 2004, so you can see when this picture was taken in 2003, he noticed that everybody, you know, when you meet new people, just like you do right now, oh, what's your major? You know, you get an answer. Telecommunications. That's kind of the end of the conversation, unless you pick it up and you say, oh yeah, my neighbor's that, or my boyfriend's that, or my whatever, like, you know, if you're, oh, I'm an accounting major too, like maybe you can kind of continue with that, but it doesn't really tell you too much about that person unless you keep asking questions. Just like if you are at the career fair and somebody says, oh, what's your major? And you just say accounting and you stop talking. What? Okay. What? You know, it's really like pulling to get more out of you. So the same thing happens as adults. We say, oh, what do you do? My brother would say, photographer. Okay. And then again, unless you're like a good conversationalist and you can pull something out of them, or if someone's willing to give you more, these two questions, what's your major, what do you do? They don't really tell us that much about somebody. Or even if someone does talk a little bit more, it doesn't tell us enough of what we're really asking, what we really want to know. We want to know, who are you? And what do we have in common? What are you all about? The other thing that I think is wrong with this question, either of these questions, what's your major or what do you do, is it's a lot of pressure. Have any of you experienced doubt with your major? Or maybe you changed your major already because you say, like, especially I was a international relations major, okay? Well, what am I gonna do with that? It's sometimes the next question. And then I was gonna be a journalism major. Okay, but like I didn't really want to move to New York City. I wanted to stay in Indiana. So what does that mean? Okay, well, I'm not really like hungry enough to like chase down leads as a journalist. Like, how do I do this? What does that mean? So sometimes if we just define ourselves all the time by what's your major, what a demanding, scary feeling for us as college students So that's it. That's all you need to know about me. What's my major? And then sometimes the conversation never gets back into what we really want to know is who are you? What are you about? What's going on? So freshman year, my brother got bored of what's your major question, and he started asking people, what's your story? So now it's a good sociology experiment to see how people answer that question. Do they tell us about their family? Do they tell us about their passions? Do they tell us about their interests? Do they tell us about their major or their job or whatever? Like, it's just something, my dad, my brother, and I especially, we ask the people that when we meet them, and then we kind of look at each other and wait. What are they going to say? What are they going to do? What's your story? So my mission in this new role is professional development and outreach, and I would love for all 10 of you to know your story. I would love to know what is true about you, and you be able to know it and then be able to share it with other people. So here's my brother again, coolest guy I know. Imagine asking this guy, oh, what do you do? Okay, well, he might still say photographer, but instead, like the Charleston magazine, this is the cover of a magazine he was on, they said, what's your story? And so he got to tell a story. You know, it doesn't have to be a long, lengthy thing, but, oh, I'm Gately. I make and give editorial, adventure, and landscape photographers. I live in Charleston. You can find me there or on my bike making landscape photographs. Thanks for taking a look and give me a call. You know, short, simple, nice little thing that says so much more than photographer. What type of photographer? What are you passionate about? Even just his wording here, I make and give editorial adventure. Like, that's because Benny, about every couple weeks, every 3 weeks, he goes and gets 30 of his favorite photos printed, most recent photos on cardstock, and then he sends them out in as postcards to random people. His friends' moms, me, random teachers, random lady he lived next to 32 years ago. This is a lot about who he is, and I know that because I know him better. But imagine if someone said that to you, I make and give blah 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 photographs. You might say, what do you mean you make and give? Like, tell me more about that. He doesn't just like go out and charge people for baby pictures and never see them again. He's making an experience. So I just think my brother has a cool story, and I think you all probably do too. You just need to approach life that way. So this is a pretty good video. We're only going to watch the first few minutes to kind of give us an idea of what's your story, and hopefully you can hear it. Please tell me if you cannot hear it. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear it okay? Or a thumbs down? Any better?
I don't hear anything, if there's anything there.
Okay. How about this? I'll email you this video and you can watch it when you want. Basically, she talks about, you know, we ask kids when they're little, what do you want to be when you grow up? And it's the same thing. What do you do? What's your major? And there's really only one answer and that we're looking for. And, you know, usually it's something funny when they're 4 about they want to be a unicorn or they want to be president or they want to be a doctor. And those things start defining us, and it starts defining how we, what choices we make with after school activities, or what choices we make with how we spend our time. And what we need to do is flip that narrative to how have I spent my time? What am I good at? What am I passionate about? That's my story. That's how I change my major. That's how I choose my profession. That's how I choose my career. And that's what defines me. Not like, I want to be a doctor, so I have to do all of these things. No, I'm good at helping people. I'm good at science. I'm inquisitive. I can work long hours. That's why I want to be a doctor. So it's kind of like, you know, we ask little kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or we ask people, what's your major? It's kind of, instead we should say like, so what are you about? How do you like to spend your time? What are you passionate about? And if we start those conversations with other people, then maybe we'll be better at doing that with ourselves, which is, I think, the first step in what's your story, this self-awareness level. So, you need to be able to and I want everybody to think about these questions. I'm going to put a timer on and give you a minute and think about these questions about yourself. What's your passion? What do you like? What are you good at? How are you unique? What do you value? What do you not like to do? What type of career are you looking for? So if it helps you to jot something down, I'm going to call you out and you have to answer one of these questions. You can pick which one. But this is your story. So what is true for you? I'm gonna put a little timer on, and I'll give you a couple minutes to think about it. Okay, about 10 more seconds. Answer one of these questions. Okay, do I have any brave souls who'd like to go first? Pick any of these questions and
I'll go.
Thank you, Heather.
I'm looking for the type of career that really works for my schedule as a stay-at-home homeschool mom. So I went into the accounting field thinking that I might be able to find a position where I can work from home full-time while still taking care of them.
Cool, perfect. That tells me a lot about you rather than accounting. Anyone else?
I can go.
Thank you, Nicole.
Sure. So the question, what are you good at? I feel like I'm really good at connecting with people and networking. I feel like I do a really good job of not only going outside of my friend circle for networking, but just attending different networking events, and then also putting people that I know in contact with people that I've just met to connect them together if I feel like it's going to advance their career or something that they're doing like extracurricular. I'm in the junior league and I've, met plenty of different people that I've never met before in different career paths. So to be able to connect and network with them and connect them with people that I know, I'm really, really good at that.
That's awesome. I love that you're willing to brag about yourself because that's what this is. You have to say, like, you weren't just like, oh, I think I'm okay at networking. Like, no, I'm good at that. And I love that you took it to the next level of, and what is networking? It's helping other people make connections too. And then you give a very specific example that people can relate to. So you didn't go on and on about junior league and one time on Friday, blah, 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 blah. Like, I love it. That was a perfect answer. You made it real, gave a concrete example, and brag a little bit. Who else is ready to brag? What's your passion? What are you good at? How are you unique? Okay, go ahead, Gaspar.
So I will say like what type of career I'm looking for. So I'm looking for a career that identifies with myself, and so I can continue developing my skills and learning more about what I'm good of doing, and probably as one of the colleagues there say that I may be flexible, either working at home or internationally maybe. So,
sure.
yeah.
Very cool. Thank you. How about two more people? Answer one of these questions.
So I can
Answer.
So I'm
A pretty unique engineering student. I originally went to school for studio arts and completed that degree.
Mhm.
And creativity really is an asset to solving problems, but I'm not creative because I went to art school. I went to art school because I'm creative. And those problem solving skills and creativity really come in handy with engineering, and more specifically, product development and design, the area I'm focused in. I was in medical devices with Zimmer Biomet last year. And this year I am currently designing new razors for P&G Gillette, and really enjoying those new challenges.
Very cool. That's why I know your name, Caitlin. I saw an awesome review from your internship. I'm one of the internship coordinators on campus, and yours was the example of how wonderful our interns are doing. So I heard your name recently of how awesome someone is doing a great job. So good for you. I love that you, Gaspar, and both of you use some of those buzzwords. So the third step is kind of, the second step is career knowledge and understanding like what other people are looking for, and kind of tailoring your message to that. That word flexibility, keep that in your vocabulary. That's an awesome thing to tell people that that's what you want, that's what you're looking for, and that's what you're good at. And then problem solving and why and how, like, because sometimes people don't think. You've clearly told your story before about art school to engineering, and I can tell, and you know yourself because of that creativity equals problem solving, and art school people and engineer school people must get that. So that's cool. Well, thank you for sharing. I hope you you all take some time to really think about these things. So for me, when I was developing my story, kind of a cool exercise I'd like to challenge you to do, so make a note for yourself to do this later. I thought, like, who am I? What am I good at? What's my career path here? I use something called Wordle. Have you seen these things before? You can still see my screen, right? My PowerPoint? Okay. Yeah. I closed it on my screen. So this is I used to be a teacher, so this is a teacher thing. Wordle, W-O-R-D-L-E. You can just Google free Wordle. I found like 3 different websites. Just pick one that you think looks legit. I copied and pasted my resume into just all the words into the Wordle to see what words would pop up the most. And I think I didn't get enough, so I also put a cover letter in there I wrote recently to see how I talk about myself. And I love this. I loved looking at this because this is so me. Like, I am about professional development. I am about being a peer mentor. I am about, like, look at all these times I mentioned a university or a school of ed or dormer school or like career development center. Like, this I think was really fun for me and would be interesting for somebody who's trying to get to know you to hear. And you might see what I did this also. I recently applied for a program, the Leadership Fort Wayne program. And so I had to write a series of essays about myself and my goals and my future and things like that. So I just copied and pasted those words into the Wordle too, because it was really interesting to see what words I used a lot in describing myself, both past, present, and future. And so students just keeps popping up in Fort Wayne or Northeast Indiana or community. Like, I'm really about building a home here for myself and my family and my students and making this world I live in right here a better place. And I would like to challenge you to do this for yourself. And if you're willing, I'd love to see it. And I'd love to have this conversation one-on-one about what this means to you. If you're a business student, I'm happy to give you some more passport points for a career counseling visit or something like that. But I hope after today you take some of this, what's my story, and challenge yourself. And if there's some words about you that you don't see, like, I don't really see anything here about family. I don't see anything about like fun or life or food. I'm really big into food. And like, yeah, I probably wouldn't put that in professional stuff, but like, it's interesting I didn't once mention food or restaurants or fun or family. Like, so am I really saying, am I talking about myself enough? Or, I think like I'm always willing to grow and willing to learn, and I don't see the word grow pop up here at all, let alone large. So that's why I want something to know. I want people, my future employers, to know about me, that I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to grow, and I want to help other people do that. So it comes up with professional development, but maybe I need to think about how I'm talking about myself more in writing and in verbally. Do I use that word grow or growth ever? So it's kind of a fun challenge. I had fun making this PowerPoint, and I hope you do it for yourself. So I thought I'd share my story from high school to first job, because this is something I saw over and over again as I was preparing for interviews. My dad gave me advice to like think about all those dots along your way, and what does that mean for your employer. So in the first bracket there, you can see that in middle school, elementary school, middle school, high school, I was a peer mentor a lot. I was like a peer moderator, a mentor in 3rd grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 12th grade, freshman year of college, senior year of college, after college. Like I did a lot of stuff where I was like some type of peer mentor. And I was in a lot of student orgs, and I was the president of those orgs. I was editor-in-chief of the yearbook, and I was the president of French club, and I was the drama club, and like that was a big part of my life. Only 4 months or 2 months of my life, but a big part of my life was a summer abroad in France, and really a determining factor. So when I was picking my major, because I changed my major 3 times my freshman year of college, I really had to think about, well, what do I like? How have I spent my time? What am I good at? What do I want to be doing? Because I mentioned earlier, I started with international relations because I knew I liked French. Okay, but like, what does that mean? What do I want to do with that? When I started looking into careers for international relations, or like what that says about me, or what type of classes I'd be taking, I wasn't like, I don't enjoy politics. I don't enjoy like debates. I don't want to do any of that. So what do I do with French? Okay, well, what other things am I good at? What else have I spent my time doing? What if I looked at my junior year of high school, or I looked at my freshman year of college, when I had a choice of how I was going to spend my time, either because I thought it was important or I wanted to, what did I do? And so a lot of that was time working. I always worked, and as a coffee shop usually. So what does that say about me if I work at a coffee shop? I like people, I like food. Yeah, so that's how I ended on French and education as my 2 undergrad majors. And then that's me in that little top corner, my 2nd year French teacher, Meg, with my little beret. And yeah, I was actually really unhappy in that job. I cried a lot. So then I had to go back. What is my story? Who am I? Because I spent 4 years of my life preparing to be a high school teacher, high school French teacher, and then like 90 hours a week being a high school French teacher, and I didn't like it. But I was Madame Underwood. Like that's who I was. So again, I was defining myself by what do I do instead of like, who am I? So I had to go back and really think about like, what else am I good at and what else do I want to do? So I had to connect those dots again. And what I liked about my job, or what I liked doing, really I just kept thinking about that peer mentor. And someone asked me like, what's the favorite job you've ever had? And there's me in 2006. I was a new student orientation leader. Anyone else ever do orientation leaders? And that like, okay, well, I liked working on a college campus, and I liked helping freshmen transition from high school to college. That was a fun summer. That was one of my favorite jobs I've ever done. Okay, well, what career is that? What job is that? What does that mean? What am I good at that could translate into? So I went back to school, to grad school, to be a counselor, because I thought I liked staying at the high school, and if I was a school counselor, then I could help high school students go to college or life after high school. And then I tried to keep reimagining what's next, what's my story. And when I was honest with myself, I was having a lot more fun in my part-time job at the college than in my teaching job. So I transitioned into study abroad advisor, and then I was an education academic advisor, and now I work in the school business with employer relations, and with helping you guys with workshops like this, because this is what I like to do. this is fun. I like solving problems. I like helping people. I like hearing about people's struggles, or I like making a difference in my community. So I'm the happiest I've ever been because I listened to myself and I know myself and I chased it down. And I didn't want to leave my last job. I really liked my last job, but this was the job for me. When I read the job description, I was like, that's me. I was actually looking for a friend. I wanted her to start working at Purdue Fort Wayne so I could have lunch with her. And I was like, what? I want that job. And I remember when Susan was talking about this position years ago, I was like, how do I do that? I want that. So I just want to encourage you guys to really like know yourself and just read and see what's out there. And maybe it won't happen in your first years. It took me 10 years of working to get to this spot, but everything I did along the way did help me get to this spot. In my last jobs, I could have never worked from home on a Monday, but sometimes I do. And sometimes my job is more flexible, and sometimes I work till 8 p.m. and sometimes I work till 4 p.m. because I work hard and I get my job done, but it took me a while to get there too. So, and the career I'm in, if I was a teacher, I wouldn't be able to work from home. So that's after you know yourself. You know, I knew I loved being a peer mentor. So I needed to start exploring careers out there. So who can tell me one thing you know about yourself, and then maybe some exploration you've already done, what that means for a career, or maybe somebody else wants to answer. Like, I know I love puppies. I know I'm really good at networking. I know I'm really good at, I don't know. Someone new, share with me. What's something you know about yourself, and let's challenge each other on career knowledge. Okay, Gaspar.
Well, something is like, I like solving problems.
Okay.
I like to help people solve their problems. Like,
Okay.
on my previous job, a lot of people, they used to come to me and ask for maybe advice and some type of solutions to their problems, either if it's a work problem or like personal problem. And I used to give them some advices and say, hey, you have to do this. This is life. You have to adjust. You have to
So
be
people knew that
prepared.
about you, and then you enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was like, I like when people come to me and say, hey, Gaspar, I need your help. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's good helping people. And it's even better when you see that what you told them, it worked. So I feel like, yay,
Yeah.
I won. So I
I
like
totally
to do that.
identify with that. When I was teaching and not loving it, I tried to think about what parts of my job I love. And I had a student that was just a real sassafras, and he told me, just stop asking me about my homework. I'm never going to do my homework, okay? And I was like, okay. So I pulled him over at the end of class. I was like, dude, what's up? Why are you never going to do your homework? And he was like, I work every day after school from 3 to 8. I'm like the breadwinner in my family, and I won't be doing homework. I was like, understandable. Is there a day that you could do homework? And he was like, yeah, Tuesdays. I don't work on Tuesdays. I'm like, okay, then every day your homework due is Wednesday instead of any other day of the week. And you could just see his whole body change, his whole like, wait, you're willing to do that? And I'm like, yeah, let's work it out. And that was like a defining moment of my like career in helping people, because I listened and I like tried to help him. And like, I don't know if that kid ever thinks about that, but I hope he does. And I hope he does that for other people. So who has a job for Gaspar where he can solve problems? What type of career is that? Help other people solve problems.
Maybe he could be a detective or something.
I like that. I would have never thought of that.
I don't like that. Well, I thought about that one day, being a detective. it's like I like to watch these kind of TV shows about solving problem mysteries and stuff. But I believe it's a lot of pressure. I like working on pressure. I like doing things like, hey, I need to do this and I need to do that. But being a detective is too much.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good self-awareness. The other thing is too,
Yeah.
maybe that's just a part of your life. You like detective novels and you like detective TV shows.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be a chef, but I sure do love to cook because I love to eat, and that makes my life better.
Yeah.
What do you think, Isaiah? You haven't said anything yet. You got any job ideas where you solve problems?
I would say anything in the engineering realm.
Yeah,
Really
kind of
good.
like Caitlin was talking about earlier. Be good. And you know, we could always work with engineers if we're not an engineering major. Okay, so here's some tips I have for you in exploring career knowledge. So this is like aware of what is out there and how do I get it. So first of all, I would really encourage you to do the Type Focus 7 career assessment. It's on the career development tab. And if you did it freshman year and it's been 3 years, I would encourage you to relook at it. I just looked at mine again after like 6 months away and I was like, oh yeah, that's interesting. So, and I think like if I would have taken that career assessment and put that in a Wordle, that would have been interesting too, to see what words keep popping up. And I would encourage you to read job descriptions. I mean, that's how I found my current job right now. And when I was looking to change careers from teaching to working at a university, I was probably reading job descriptions for 4 years trying to make that decision. And I kept seeing that you had to have a master's degree in order to work at a university. So, okay, well, what am I going to get a master's in? Okay, well, what do all of these have in common? A lot of them were counseling or higher ed student affairs. Okay, well, who out there has counseling or higher ed student affairs in Fort Wayne? So it takes a lot of time. And that's why every couple weeks you get the Connect. You got it this morning at 7:30, where there's job descriptions there. I'm not sending that to all of you because I think all of you will apply to all of those jobs. I'm sending that to all of you because I want you to find 2 or 3 that you think sounds interesting and just read it. That's it. And then I hope, you know, of the 1,000 students I sent it to, maybe 10 apply for each position, or maybe 3 applied for each position. That would be awesome. But I want all of you to at least look at it and think about, okay, maybe 2 years from now I'd apply for something like that. Or maybe I know somebody who would be good at that. Or maybe like, it's just, if you keep seeing over and over again, the top skill is communication skills, you better have that on your resume, and then you better start working on that for yourself.
If I can
Yeah.
jump in, Meg, and just add
Please.
something there. Another reason I encourage students to constantly be reading those job descriptions, besides the great reasons, like you said, like just being aware of what people are looking for, making sure you have those skill sets. But you never know when some really cool job opportunity is going to come along. Like you might have a job right now. You're like, I'm not looking for a job. I don't need to read those things. But there could be some really awesome opportunity that you would ditch your job for and go for that if you knew it was available. But if you're not constantly keeping your eye on what's going on out there, you're never going to know when those cool things happen. So it's important to always be looking.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Because I love that our students are very loyal, and all of you work, probably 90% of our students work. I love that they want to stay at Costco. But if Sweetwater opens up and you want that job, you better be applying, especially because HR people love to see the same people applying. And I've asked so many people that if somebody applied, if they interviewed or they applied once and then you didn't interview them the first time, but would you interview them the second time? They're like, probably. If I saw that name again, I'd probably interview them just because they did, even if they weren't quite right. They clearly want to work for us. And that means a lot more than, so you never know. So other types of
Meg, that actually happened with me where I'm at currently. I'm at Ash Brokerage, and I applied 3 times, and they finally took me for an interview. And the job that I was hired in at was not anything that I even applied for, but because I applied so many times, they actually brought me in for an interview and put me in a position that they thought that I would be really good at. And it turns out I was really good at that position. So I definitely agree with that. Keep applying.
That's good. Thank you for sharing that, Nicole.
Yeah.
I've actually heard that sometimes employers put like just some random job out there because they're trying to see who will apply and who will come in. Or even if they kind of have, my dad hired people all the time at Pepsi, and even if they had an internal candidate identified or somebody they thought would be a good fit, he would always interview people because he knew he'd be hiring again in a couple months or something like that. Or who knows who else. So. There's tons of networking events that you can participate on campus or in Fort Wayne. And I'll tell you about a couple coming up, but every Tuesday, there's the Tuesday Talent Launch. We already kind of talked about that a little bit. You can just go and practice what's your story. That cold walk up to somebody at a job fair is scary when you're actually looking for a job. So imagine when you're not looking for a job to just go practice, like, hey, I'm Nicole. Here's what I'm about. What are you about? That's really good practice for things like that. And just anytime, like getting to know other people, informational interviews, job shadows. We really, really encourage you to do this, especially when companies are not hiring. If they are hiring, it might be unethical to let you come to a job shadow or kind of skew their system, or they just don't have time. But when they are not hiring and you want to, spend 30 minutes on the phone with somebody asking them about their career, that's an excellent thing to do. I probably did 15 informational interviews when I was changing careers from teaching to working here. Student orgs, that gives you a good idea about what you're good at and solving problems, or I like to present, I hate to present. And internships, of course, and then jobs. And they just explore, that's how you see what's out there. So in 1 week, 2 weeks, there's the Next Path to Your Future workshop. And this is how to actually look for an internship or job search. So this would be an excellent way to be more career ready. And, maybe you get these things or they say, go read job descriptions. And you're like, how? This would be an excellent way to go learn how to do that. We have an internship fair, virtual internship fair, and internship initiative coming up November 12th and October 28th is the initiative getting ready for that. We'll have mock interviews and resume reviews, and this will be an excellent chance to practice your elevator pitch, to practice telling your story. So you're ready to do that at the internship fair in November. And we will have a job fair in the spring. It could be on campus or it could be virtual, depending on the state of the world. Do follow us on social media, because LinkedIn, Instagram, all these places, we're posting jobs all the time, or posting like, did you know cultural fluency is a top-rated skill that people need? If you have that, then you want to brag about that. If other people think you need it, you need to put that on there. Or something you need to develop. So just have it, as you're scrolling through Kardashian pictures, if a job pops up that you want to see, you never know, it might be out there. So just add us to what you're already doing. You might see it. Yeah, and there's more events on Handshake. You found me today, so you know how to use it. So keep looking there. Things pop up all the time. I just saw a couple more Target and wants our students to come to some events, so we're gonna approve those. Okay, so last step, self-awareness, know yourself. And we talked about ways to do that and know more about yourself. Career knowledge, explore, see what's ready out there. Oh, the social media accounts. I think it's at PFW Career. Oh, I'm responding. And then next is career readiness. So again, I'm going to send you this PowerPoint today so you can see these two videos. This is a gentleman giving advice on telling your story. And he basically says you need to draw somebody in. If someone online at Starbucks or in a job interview, tell me about something about yourself is probably one of the most common job interview questions. And that's basically asking the same thing, what's your story? So in a social setting, you might say something different than a job interview, but you really need to practice doing that. So what makes you unique and what is not on your resume? So this gentleman always tells people that he sold cheese. And that gets people to say, tell me more about yourself. Tell me more. What do you mean you sold cheese? Or, yeah, so like things that aren't always very evident, or sometimes it's what connects those things on your resume. Maybe someone would look at Caitlin's resume and be like, art school and engineering school. And so she can create the path there and tell the story. And it always helps to have a bit of a human connection. That's why I put so many pictures of myself and my family, even though, you know, they're kind of silly, but they're still, it humanizes me. So let's practice your elevator pitch. So I'm going to give you some time to write something down. Who are you? What has influenced you in the past? You know, sometimes it's good to construct it past, present, future. In the past, I was a peer mentor, so I went to school to be a counselor, and now I'm doing career counseling. That's who I am. What are you currently doing? What are you looking forward to in the future? What, and most importantly, when you're telling your story, why should your audience care? What does that have anything to do with me? Whether it's a new friend or a new love interest or the new love interest parents or a job interview or an informational interview, like, and you never want someone to say, so what, or and. They probably wouldn't say it out loud, but in their head, if they're like, okay, you know, you walk up to a med pro at the job fair and you say, I'm an art major, and they say, and? But if you say, which means I'm creative and I love to solve problems. Okay, I got a job where you can solve some problems. Yeah, so I'm gonna give you just some time to think about that. And then I'm gonna attempt to do some breakout rooms where you actually practice your telling your story. I need some Jeopardy music. So I thought I'd share my story one more time as an example. I'm Meg, I'm a Hufflepuff. That means two things. One, I'm a nerd. I love Harry Potter. I love reading. I love connecting books to life. And two, I'm loyal, brave, and hardworking. I've been a peer mentor in 2nd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 12th, 15th grades, and after college in several professional organizations. I'm a lifelong learner, educator. I'm always interested in best practices and helping people achieve their dreams. That's what I am. And so if I was saying that to you, who is my audience, I hope you seriously hear that. I'm always interested in helping you achieve your dreams. So if any of you would like to meet with me one-on-one or in a group in the future, and you want to talk about your story and how you're going to get to your dream and how you're going to tell that to people, I mean that. I want you to come find me either virtually on Teams or on Skype or Zoom, or I'm in NAF 337, or you can call or email. We can set up a time. I hope you hear that. So I'm going to challenge you now to work with each other. I've never done breakout rooms before. I hope this works. And there will be 3 people to a room. So you can hopefully practice that way. And hopefully this works. Okay, I think you're just a room of 2. So just
All right.
like, so Isaiah and Nicole, go ahead and practice if you're willing.
All right, I'll start. I'm Isaiah. I'm a sophomore in the OLS department. I've lived a lot of my life overseas, so I've.
Hi, Caitlin.
lost by man.
I think your partner. She told me at the beginning that she has her niece with her today, so it's possible she had to step out for a minute. So we'll just practice. You ready to go?
Yep, I'm ready.
So this semester, I'm a junior in mechanical engineering. One of the people who really inspired me was my sister-in-law. She's in medical devices, and she was one of the people who was really supportive of me going back to school, which was a pretty big change at the time. Not everyone understood it, but it's really been the best decision I've ever made. And one of the things I'm working on right now is I'm the professional development chair for the Society of Women Engineers Club at PFW.
Very good.
And I was actually able to bring my sister-in-law in to talk to students. And while she is an engineer, it really could be applied to any students, and especially women getting into a technical field or just into the workforce in general. So I was really glad I was able to share that with students.
Good. Thank you for sharing. And what's next? What are you looking for?
What's next is I'm thinking about my summer internship for 2021 a little bit. Hopefully I'll be going back with P&G Gillette and have a internship focused on bringing a new product into market or into initial manufacturing.
Very cool. And what's the timeline? When do you have to apply for this by?
I would not have to apply. It would just depend on the openings they have for next year. I would be in consideration already.
Do you know their timeline? When you would know? Because if not, you'd have to apply for other positions, right?
I would expect to know by the end date of this co-op, which is in December.
So I've seen some competitive, like with Zimmer, they're posted now. General Motors is posted now. Target, like Apple, like some of the bigger places. I did see one with Johnson and Johnson. Is that who you're already working with?
I was with Zimmer Biomet.
Johnson and Johnson has one, and I think people hire before December for competitive summer programs. So it might be worth applying and going through the process. And then if you got an offer, to go back to Zimmer and say, can you please let me know within a week, because I have to tell these other people by Friday.
Yeah, I've applied a few times to Johnson and Johnson, but I haven't even gotten an interview there before.
Yeah. So I don't know, sometimes it helps to have an in, or like right now to do an informational interview with someone in HR. Like this is a field I want to work in. If you're emailing with someone with a .edu email address, sometimes that kind of helps.
That's a good point.
Bianca, are you there? Okay, I'm gonna. Oh, she is there. Bianca, I'm gonna let you practice yours. That's okay. I told Caitlin that maybe your niece needed something.
Yeah, her teeth are bothering her really bad. And she's like, I'm hungry, but my teeth hurt.
Ice cream.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you tell your story. I'm gonna go join the other group, and I'll wrap it up in just a couple minutes. Okay?
Okay. So
Meg,
How'd it go so far?
good. We were just finishing up.
Okay. Well, I was just checking in, and I'm gonna wrap it up. So I'm gonna close
Okay.
the room in just a couple minutes,
Okay.
or 1 minute. I'll let somebody else I know who's in the middle of talking.
I like doing the little breakout rooms. This is kind of fun.
Did it go okay? I've never done this.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, good. It wasn't too hard to do. Welcome back, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so thank you for participating and trying that. I think the in-person workshop, I was looking forward to that because I think it's easier to interact with people, but this world is very good to practice our technology skills too, for me and for you. So thank you. So again, some reminders. When you're practicing your story with other people, draw someone in. What makes you unique? You can think about past, present, future. Who are you? Who do you want to become? And what does that have anything to do with me? Not in a mean way, but like, you know, if someone can walk away from a conversation with you and you're like, what was that? They didn't tell your story right. So I would love to challenge you to do that Wordle thing, to think about putting your resume or a scholarship or essay at something into that to see how you talk about yourself. And I'd also challenge you to start asking people, so what's your story? And start practicing answering it too. And that's it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you talking and interacting. I mean it. If you would like to practice your story, I want to hear it. I think it's fun. So this was recorded. I'm going to make it available to other students in the future. I might just record a separate one of me going through the PowerPoint. But I appreciate you letting me do that so they can hear your thoughts and questions too. Does anyone have a comment or a question as we're wrapping up?
Well, I want to talk about something that Nicole said earlier. It was about how companies, well, she tried to apply several times, and the company called her and hire for a different position. I think that some companies, as you say, just pull a bunch of applications there. It's just to see who candidate is persistent to go and to keep doing, who is willing to go further than just saw an application and apply for that. So I think being persistent is very good too. So yeah.
And another good buzzword to use to describe yourself.
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. Anyone else? Okay, well, I hope you found this useful and do it. Do it this week. Ask someone, what's your story? Bye, everybody.
Right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.